Hey there and welcome back. Today we are doing kind of a combination video. This is going to be kind of a how-to for powder foundation as far as how to apply it, how to make it look great on your skin, but is also doubling as a kind of back-to-school easy makeup look. Whether you're a student or a parent, this like makeup is super easy to do. In just a few minutes you can kind of tweak it, customize it for your skin, and just basically make it much easier than doing like a full glam or really full-on makeup. So to get started, even though we're doing a powder foundation, I would personally still recommend moisturizing and priming your skin. I'm going to use the NYX Angel Veil just because it's really soft on the skin, but especially if you have dry skin, you really want to make sure to moisturize. Otherwise, the powder foundation is really going to pick up, you know, all the flakes of dry skin on your face. So really make sure that you are moisturizing again if you have dry skin, and even if you have oily skin, you want to prime. That's just going to help the makeup stay in place a little bit better throughout the day. And that is the one thing I have to say, while I do really like powder foundations and they're really great if you're just going to like run errands or do something really simple, they don't necessarily last. It's just, you know, the nature of them. They don't last as long as, you know, doing a full liquid and then setting it, you know, kind of makeup routine. So just to do something really simple on the eyes, I'm going to take this Sephora waterproof soft brown. It's kind of like a cream to powder shadow. I'm just going to take a small flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm not going to prime the eyes. I'm just going to put it right on the eyes and kind of see how this works. I haven't put this one on the lid in a while. Just going to kind of brush over the lid. It's a little bit like two-dimensional. It has like a little bit of kind of a shimmery coppery undertone. Just kind of looks really pretty on the eye. You can definitely even use your finger. I'm just kind of trying to get this to sit nicely on the skin, but I might have to use my finger. Oh, it does definitely dry down to a powder. It's like a bit of a cream, so using a brush probably is better. Okay, and obviously if you don't have this exact same product, any sort of like a taupey brown or a gray even, or just a light brown, just kind of across the eye, really just wash the color pretty much all over the crease and the lid as well, just to kind of give a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Master Kajal eyeliner, and I'm going to kind of just smudge that onto the lid so you can kind of just draw just kind of a little bit of a chunky line. I like the browns for this because this is a little bit more of a natural look. Actually, before I forget, I'm going to align my water lines as well with this Master Kajal. And then take my Sigma E 65 small angled brush and just kind of smudge that upper lash line. Like I said, so you can definitely skip any eye makeup and just do a little bit of mascara, or just put a little bit of liner on and skip the shadow. But if you just, like I said, if you want this a slightly elevated look. Okay, so once you've kind of smudged that out, it's really just kind of like a nice soft brown eye. The next step, again, is totally optional. I'm going to kind of do like the most makeup I would do with a powder foundation, and then if you want to cut a step out, you definitely can. I'm going to take the Revlon Photo Ready Concealer, or if you have any more like a thin concealer formula, this is definitely not the time to break out the heavy duty concealer, and I'm just going to conceal basically right under my eyes. So we're not necessarily going to use this like a typical highlighter. We're going to use this literally just to conceal. So like redness under the eye, any redness like around the nose, on the chin. I'm just going to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Just very thin. So anywhere, like I said, where you get a little bit of redness, you know, I mean, you can definitely put it over the places you would highlight, and then just take a damp beauty blender and definitely just blend that in. You just want to do this basically because we're going in with all powder products. You want to kind of have your cream products set in place. So to go with the actual foundation, I like using the Bare Minerals. I've started using Bare Minerals in probably like around college time, when I, you know, started wearing it, like worked for an internship and felt like it was just really easy to use. I definitely obviously feel like it does not stay on as long, and it's not as full coverage as a liquid or a cream foundation, but it's really fast and easy, and it's a lot easier if you haven't really worn makeup before and you want to get into wearing makeup. So it's kind of perfect for this back to school look. So you can use, you know, any powder foundation you want. I've also sometimes used the Cover FX Pressed Mineral Foundation. I've used their liquid as well. And you can see actually I've used quite a bit of the powder here. I mostly use it kind of to add a little bit more coverage on top when I'm done setting my makeup, or to kind of warm up, since this is a slightly darker color than some other foundations, but it can be obviously worn by itself. So for the Bare Minerals one, because it's a loose powder, what I'd like to do is take a really thick, like densely packed brush, so like one with like a lot of bristles. Ooh, and you can see I have a little bit of powder on there already. densely packed brush, you don't want something like really, really loose and fluffy, because that's not going to deposit enough of the product on your face, or it will take you forever. You want something with like a really densely packed brush. So I like to kind of pat it, put some loose powder into the lid, or if you have a solid powder, just kind of swipe the brush through the palette. And then at first I like to kind of go in with buffing motions and then kind of stipple on top of that. So just slightly brush that, just very gently over the skin. And basically, the best thing with a powder foundation is just to build. So if you literally just want the tiniest bit of coverage, maybe just have a little tiny bit of redness, you can just basically brush it over the skin one time and you'll be fine. But then if you want to actually wear it, you know, for a little bit more coverage, you just build it up as you go. So again, just kind of pat your brush into the pan. You can even knock off if you have a little bit of extra and just kind of work that over the skin. And basically, you know, you can definitely work quickly with this and kind of just build it up to, like I said, the amount of coverage that you want. And just going over the areas that you have a little bit more redness. And then you can slightly take the brush and kind of stipple and push it into the skin on the areas that you need a little bit more coverage. Okay, so once you've gotten it to the level of coverage that you want, even though we're going in with a powder foundation, you're still going to want to add a little bit of warmth back to the skin because it still kind of made the face all one color. So I would definitely still go in with a little bit of contour or bronzer. I'm just going to take the middle shade on the Sephora contour palette, this middle one here, and just slightly put that over the places that I would normally contour. And obviously you're going to only want to be using a powder contour. You don't want to use a liquid because we've already have powders on our face. So from here on out, only powder products. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of blush on as well. I'm going to take my Be Matte blush palette in the color guava, and kind of it's like a peachy corally color. I'm not quite ready to commit to fall shades yet, so I'm still kind of loving these summer colors. Just taking that on a Sephora angled blush brush. Just kind of a little bit of color. I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer as well. I have the NYX Matte Bronzer, just to warm up the skin even more and kind of go over the places that you would normally tan. And just to brighten up the inner corners, I'm just going to take a little bit of this NYX Bake Shadow in a BSH 27 Easy Rider. It's just like a white shimmery color. Just going to take that on a Sephora E30 pencil brush just to brighten up the inner corner. Again, you can skip this step. You definitely don't have to do anything on the eyes if you don't want. I'm just doing, again, just a little something to put a little bit of definition on the eyes. And you can put a little through the brow bone as well. Now, if you feel like you need a little bit more brightening underneath your eyes, you can go in with either like a really, really light powder foundation or like a banana powder. I'm going to try taking a little bit of just a combination of these two. It's like a pink and a yellow banana powder underneath the eyes. First, just going to take a little bit of the yellow and see if that brightens much. I'm just going to do one eye first, just to see how that looks. And I'm going to take a little bit of the pink powder on top of the yellow. Okay, comparing like the two eyes to each other, I definitely feel like this one does look significantly brighter, so I'm going to do a little bit of the same thing on the other eye. Take some of the yellow, and this is just on a Real Technique setting brush. Again, totally optional, but if you want to take maybe a little bit of color underneath the eyes, I think I'm just going to take a little bit of that same ombre on the same pencil brush and just work a little bit of that underneath the eyes just to smoke it out. Again, totally, totally optional. I'm just really digging under eye shadow recently. I just love it. Okay. And this kind of, maybe if you want to kind of take the look from day to night, you know, maybe add the shadow, maybe bring that with you in a brush at work and kind of take that if you're going to go out for drinks afterwards. Okay, let's put a little bit of highlighter on, just again, because this is a powder, we're looking a little bit flat, even though we do have some blush and some color in the skin. I would definitely recommend just even a little bit of highlighter. I'm going to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and my NYX DuoChrome in Snow Rose. You know what, with the eyes being, I might not be picking up on camera, but with the eyes being as brown as they are, I want a little bit of a gold highlighter instead of that Snow Rose is a little bit too pink. I'm going to take my Carli Bybel, her original eyeshadow palette, and just take that brighter gold shade on that same brush. I just need a little bit of gold just because otherwise it's not really, it's kind of contrasting against the eyes. Okay, for brows, I'm going to use the same Maybelline Brow Define and Fill Duo. I think I'm just going to use the powder end, since this is pretty much an all powder routine. Just going to brush through the brows first with the spoolie, and just put a little bit of the powder side through the brows. Okay, so I've just set them in place with the Benefit Gimme Brow number 3. Again, if you're doing this as like, you know, a powder foundation full routine, you can do brows. Otherwise, you can just, you know, throw a little bit of clear brow gel through your brows if you're doing it as just like a quick get ready for school kind of look. I'm going to try a new mascara today, the Lancome Paris Grandiose. It has like this really cool like rose in the top of the cap here, so I'm really curious to see. I got this from my mom. Ooh, it has like a really funky, twisty top here. So you kind of hold it, it kind of comes into the side, which is kind of neat. I'm kind of not loving this. Okay, well, I wanted to try at least one new product today, so this is our newbie. Unfortunately, that was kind of a little bit of a flop. I'm not sure that I necessarily like throw it out or anything. I'm just not like loving it. I'm gonna put a little bit of my new favorite, the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, this pink one. This is kind of the dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara. Okay, that seemed to fix it. It's just like a little tiny bit clumpy still on the side, but it looks pretty good. Alright, so that is pretty much it. You can set it with a setting spray. I like to kind of at the end just go over it again with just a tiny bit more of that same powder foundation that you used. And in case you're curious, I'm using the Bare Minerals in the shade Fairly Light, and this is their matte foundation broad spectrum SPF 15. I'm not even sure which ones they make anymore, because I know Bare Minerals has kind of redone some of their line, and they've kind of come out with some liquid foundations and some different things. I'm just going to take a little bit more in the lid here and kind of pat it in and just kind of go over the skin again. Just really make sure everything blends together. Like I said, I'm just going to set with a little bit of the Slay All Day Setting Spray by Gerard Cosmetics. And if you want to keep it like really nude, again, if you're doing an easy back to school look, you can either do like a tinted lip balm, or I'm just going to do a nice nude NYX Suede cream lipstick in the color Soft Spoken. Just kind of a nice nude. So like I said, if you're trying to do more of a natural look, we'll put this on. Kind of a brown nude. And that's like a really nice, I mean, like I said, it makes your skin looks really great, and it kind of looks like you even have a pretty full face of makeup on, which I guess technically we do. But it's just so much faster and easier and kind of lighter on your skin. But just because I just got this lipstick, I really, really want to try it. I tried this last week, the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. I had like a lighter, like, you know, pinky, purpley color, but I got this really nice dark color, which could be nice as we go into fall. So I'm gonna just wipe this off. I'm gonna just try this lipstick, just see if this kind of ties the look together. Oh my god, it's so dark and pretty. Okay, so this is like really dark but really pretty, and like this is inspiring me to like start looking at fall looks. It's obviously really dark, and kind of with the brown eyes, it actually looks really nice. So again, if you are just looking to do powder foundation as like a quick everyday, you can just take, you know, a little bit of concealer under the eyes, your powder, some mascara, you know, maybe some clear brow gel through the eyebrows and be done with it. Or if you want to replace your liquid foundation with this and kind of do still a full face, you can do the eyes, a little bit of, you know, the blush and highlight. I would still either, whether you're doing this for a full on or not full on makeup look, put a little bit of bronzer or contour on to warm up the skin and add a little definition back in. But either way, if you want to wear it with less or more, I think the powder foundation looks really nice on the skin. It feels so light, it does not even feel like you're really wearing makeup. And it, you know, sits pretty nice on the skin. Like I said, it just doesn't necessarily last as long as your liquid does, you know, with all those kind of full glam steps. So if this works out for you, you know, for your easy back to school look or just like an easy fall look, I hope you really enjoy it. Have a great week. Please like and subscribe.